IP addresses are important to VPNs and to you. The whole reason you're using a VPN is that it can take your genuine IP address and replace it with one of its own, right? And what you can then go and do online with your VPN largely comes down to the details of that IP address. But it's not quite as simple as that. There's actually different types of IP address, 3 that are relevant to us to be precise, and when using a VPN, it's actually pretty important to understand the differences between them and what makes them unique. That's why I'm sitting here making this video, and you're, wherever you are, watching it. For Top 10 VPN, I'm Callum. Let's talk IP addresses. Let's start with the very basics, just so that we're on the same page. An IP address is your unique identifier on the internet. Every web-connected device has its own one. They're assigned by the internet service provider of the network that they are using. Beyond that, those ISPs are given their sets of IP addresses by the Internet Assigned Numbers Authority and one of 5 regional internet registries whose job it is to manage and allocate all of the IP addresses out there. And as a result of all this, an IP address inherently reveals a device's general location as well as the ISP attached to it. And knowing the IP address and that alone won't yield any more information than that, really. VPNs, as I'm sure you well know, change your IP address, and they do that by essentially replacing it with one of their own. And the VPN server you choose to connect to will dictate the IP address you end up using. Those servers are of course all connected to the internet via their own ISPs too, so the IP address you receive will reflect that. That's all pretty simple, and all IP addresses more or less follow those rules. However, there are different types of IP address, and they differ in other ways. The first 2 we should discuss are static versus dynamic IP addresses. When an ISP assigns an IP address, they'll make the decision as to which of the 2 types it'll be. You might be able to guess what their differences are. As the name suggests, a static IP address does not change. That means that the router and the devices connected to it will always have the same IP address. And dynamic IP addresses, though, will occasionally change. The ISP will rotate a router's IP address on a semi-regular basis. And the IP address will always come from within a certain range, but it will be different. Dynamic IPs are significantly more commonplace than static ones nowadays. There's a few reasons as to why, but as with so many things in this world, it largely comes down to money. ISPs can charge extra for static IP addresses from those who genuinely need them. Businesses or people running servers, stuff like that. The average internet user probably won't even realize their IP address rotates. It can be a nuisance if, like me, you use a corporate VPN to connect into your company's office network when you have to work from home and constantly have to pester your head of IT to whitelist your new IP address, but situations like that are still fairly niche. VPNs work with dynamic IPs. You may have even noticed it yourself. If you connect to a server in the USA on Monday and then come back and connect to it again on Tuesday, it's overwhelmingly likely that your IP address will be different. In fact, you don't even need to wait. You can try just connecting, disconnecting, and reconnecting to your VPN right now, and you'll see the IP addresses are probably different. Should you absolutely require that your VPN IP stay the same when connected to a given server, then there are some VPNs that offer static IP addresses. Windscribe, for example, charges a small additional monthly fee for them, while Surfshark has a section in its app that allows users to access them for free. With a static IP address, you're much less likely to see captchas, for example, or receive security alerts from your online accounts regarding suspicious activity. There are downsides though, but the main one is that there's usually a lack of choice. A static IP address won't be available in every single location that the VPN offers. In addition to that, it greatly eats away at your anonymity. A VPN is supposed to help you mask your identity and your activity online, right? And if you're simply connecting to the same IP address over and over again, then you're naturally a lot easier to track. They can also be accessed by other users too, of course, so websites could still be able to deduce that you're using a VPN due to the sheer magnitude and frequency of the traffic from that one IP address. Static IP addresses aren't exclusive to you. That's what dedicated IP addresses are for. A dedicated IP address is a static VPN IP address only one customer at a time has access to. They're rare and expensive and, in my opinion, a little silly. You know, like how I said that static IP addresses reduce your privacy and make you easier to track? Well, dedicated IP addresses make that issue much worse. Because now there's only one person using that fixed IP address, you. And not only that, but there could be a clear paper trail connecting the two, as you'll have to pay your VPN provider to get access to it. If you absolutely really need one, then I won't tell you how to live your life, but I think it's definitely worth weighing up the pros and cons. Dynamic, static, and dedicated will be the 3 main types of IP address that you come across in the VPN world. However, there's one more factor that you should know about. Every IP address will either be a residential IP address or a data center IP address. All 3 types of IP address will be one of those 2. A residential IP address is the sort of IP address that you have at home. It makes sense. It's one assigned by a regular consumer ISP designed to be used by an ordinary household. Data center IP addresses are instead assigned by cloud or hosting companies and are usually used by businesses. They're built for scale and as such are easily identified. Can you guess which one is more valuable in the VPN world? Right. VPNs are often detected by services like Netflix or Steam or Spotify because the IP address being used is a data center IP. It'd be really difficult and maybe even a little risky to block or call out a VPN user with a residential IP address because they're really no different to the one that you or I have at home. As a result, they'll unblock sites and services much more reliably. If you want to check your VPN's IP address, connect to a server, then visit the Top 10 VPN What is my IP address tool. Here, it'll tell you who the internet service provider for the IP address is. Google it, and you'll know whether websites perceive it as a residential or a data center IP. Please be sure to check out our guide to the different types of IP addresses for even more information, and do play around with our various industry-leading tools to get the full picture regarding your VPN. If you've learned anything or are just feeling particularly generous, then you're welcome to like and subscribe, and I look forward to seeing you in the next video.